Thousands of Georgians protest in the capital Tbilisi as a new president allied with ruling Georgian Dream Party was inaugurated. Mikhail Klavinsky, a former pro footballer, has been sworn in during a critical political period for the country after the government suspended its application to join the European Union. Georgian Dream won parliamentary elections in October, but the victory was marred in allegations of fraud, which has since sparked several street protests. Outgoing President Salomia refused to step down on Sunday, saying she was the only legitimate president. How can you be the only legitimate president when your tenure has elapsed? Even though a new election is to be conducted as you people claim, you're supposed to step aside. I don't know, but in a normal norm, when a president's time elapses, you're supposed to step aside, or the parliamentarians will go and check your constitution and vote to give 1 month or 2 or 3 months or thereabout for new elections to be held, and in the meantime for you to just be an acting president. But this one, you are saying completely you're not going to step down. So if care is not taken and these issues are not handled properly, this country might plunge into crisis that each and every one of us will have another crisis in our hands, where it might lead to a whole loss of lives and the destruction of properties, which is not going to be funny. Addressing crowds gathered outside, Sarabuchi said she would leave the presidential palace and branded her successor illegitimate. So she said now she will leave, but her successor is illegitimate. This building was a symbol only as long as a legitimate president was sitting here, she said. A few minutes walk away, Kalashvili was sworn in at a closed-doors ceremony in parliament, where he was accompanied by his family. Prime Minister Irakli also attended the inauguration. Speaking after taking the oath, he went by to praise Georgian traditions, values, national identity, and the sanctity of the family and faith. Our history clearly shows that after countless struggles to defend our homeland and traditions, peace has always been one of the main goals and values for the Georgian people, he said. Georgia's 4 main opposition groups have rejected Klavinsky and boycotted parliament. Klavinsky is a former MP with the Georgian Dream Party and was the only candidate for the job. Sarabuchi has previously denounced his election as a travesty. Georgian Dream Party has become increasingly authoritarian in recent years, passing Russian-style laws targeting media and non-government groups who receive foreign funding and the LGBT community. It refused to join Western sanctions on Russia after the full-scale invasion of Ukraine and called the West the global war party, making a mockery of its stated aim of joining the EU and NATO. An overwhelming majority of Georgians back the country's path to EU, and it is the part of the constitution. But in November, the country's ruling party said the government will not seek EU accession talks until 2028. The announcement sparked days of protests, and riot police used tear gas and water cannon against protesters who fought back by throwing fireworks and stones. On Saturday, protesters waving Georgian and EU flags gathered again ahead of the inauguration, forming a human chain that spanned kilometers. I am out in the street together with my whole family, trying somewhere to tear out this small country out of the claws of the Russian empires, one protester told the Associated Press. So at this point in time, the Georgians have to put themselves first, put their country first. Forget any external forces, forget any external interference, because whosoever that is interfering in your people's country is coming for their own interests. And there's one thing the Georgians and the Moldovans must learn. The current rise of the far-right parties in Europe is showing that the European Union, as long as the far-right will manage to get the majority, seems to exist. Because it looks as if the far-right are not going to hold on to those principles that gave them the ideology to form the European Union. They are not going to continue in that modem of operandum, or they are not going to continue in that traditions, because they have a different objectives which they are going to be working with. So at this point in time, the Georgian people, the outgoing president and the new president, you people must work together on those things that make you people Georgians, on those things that unite you people, on those traditions, on those customs that make you people one. Yes, because the earlier you people understand it, the better for all of you. Because the way these things are going, if you people don't manage this external interference properly, it will be to you people's detriment. That at the end of the day, it is only you people and your country that will suffer from the decisions you will make out of this.